dads, moms, America, what's up? I am your humble host, Codell, and welcome to the first episode of the Father's Gospel Podcast. I am beyond excited to be here with all of you. Hey, I got a great episode today for our first episode, and this information that I'm about to provide is no doubt going to blow your mind. So, what exactly are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to be breaking down the new proposed 28th Amendment, and this has to do with fathers' rights, not just fathers' rights, parental rights as a whole. And what is amazing about this proposed amendment is that this will make 50-50 the law of the land, if we can get it through. So I'm going to read through this new proposed 28th Amendment. That way, y'all know the full scope of what they're trying to achieve. And I want to say this, before we get into it, y'all need to realize this is an extremely important episode. And if this goes through, this is a game changer, especially for fathers and our children. All right. Now, before we get into it, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because the information that I'm going to be providing, not just today, but from here on out, is of the utmost importance. Folks, we're in a spiritual war. We are in a war to save our families against these legalized child trafficking courts that are operating throughout the whole entire nation. All right, so let's get into it. Here is the introduction to the new proposed 28th Amendment. Check this out. Now, to ensure the fundamental rights of parents in the upbringing of their children, and to affirm the principle that both parents have an equal role in family life, we propose the 28th Amendment to the Constitution. This amendment aims to enshrine a parental rights bill recognizing the critical importance of equal and fair involvement of both parents in their children's lives by establishing clear constitutional protections. This amendment seeks to promote stability, support joint custody arrangements, and safeguard the essential bonds between parents and their children. The 28th Amendment reflects a commitment to upholding the rights of all parents and ensuring that family law respects and protects these rights with impartiality and fairness. All right? So here's Section 1, Joint Custody Presumption. In any custody determination involving minor children, joint custody shall be presumed to be in the best interest of the child, and 50-50 custody shall be the law of the land unless clear and convincing evidence demonstrates otherwise. Moving on to Section 2, equal parenting time. Courts shall strive to ensure equal parenting time between both parents, absent clear and convincing evidence of neglect or abuse indicating that such an arrangement would not be in the child's best interest. Any deviation from equal time sharing must be based on factors directly related to the child's welfare. Now, what's important about Section 2 is basically what it's saying is no longer would these corrupt family courts be allowed to interfere with your parental rights based off of hearsay and a whole bunch of false allegations. And as many of you dads know, we deal with that on a regular basis when it comes to the family courts, and it is unacceptable. All right, moving on to Section 3, non-discrimination. Marital status, gender, sexual orientation, reasonable in state geographic locations, not exceeding 2 hours of travel, or any other personal characteristics shall not be used as grounds to deny or limit parental rights, including custody and visitation. That's huge. Now, I want to say this. When you hear the word shall, that is a very important word when it comes to legal standards, because the word shall, when it is used in legal terms, that cements it. It solidifies it. It means that this is the standard that we must go by. So it doesn't give the courts any wiggle room to basically manipulate the outcome that they want. All right? Now, moving on to Section 4, right to legal representation. This is also really, really good information right here. So, Parental Bill of Rights. Every individual involved in custody or parental right proceedings shall have the right to legal representation, to ensure access to adequate legal counsel, and to prevent financial hardship. Federal and private employers shall offer employees the option to have a portion of their pay withheld for insurance coverage specifically for legal services. That's huge. This provision aims to protect individuals from financial distress and the burden of self-representation, and it further expands the scope of public defenders to include representation in custody and parental right cases for those who may not be able to afford private legal services. So that's Section 4. Now let's move on to Section 5. Fair arbitration and jury trials. This is also extremely important. Any parent involved in custody or divorce proceedings may request that the court hear their case by a jury of their peers. This ensures that all evidence and claims are thoroughly considered and meet the highest standards of truthfulness, free from perjury. Now, I know many, many millions of you dads out there have dealt with this situation. I personally am dealing with this situation where you just get all these false accusations thrown at you year after year after year after year, and the courts allow it. They don't even care. Why? Because it is in their best interest to keep the status quo. They're financially benefiting off the way the system's set up. So Section 5 of what I just read, this would shut their ability down to rule in these corrupt manners. It would no longer just be some messed up commissioner, messed up judge being able to rule whatever way they feel. No, you would have the right to a jury trial to present all your evidence. That is huge. Now, let's move on to Section 6. Enforcement and penalties. Parental Bill of Rights states that fail to comply with the provisions of this amendment shall face federal enforcement measures, including the potential withholding of federal funding allocated for family law and child welfare programs. All individuals appearing before a family court judge are entitled to due process and the right to appeal to a higher judicial authority as established by legal principles and procedural safeguards. So that right there is another good level, a good layer of protection between you and the corrupt family courts. Because what it is saying is that these courts don't follow the law, then they can be stripped of their federal funding. And I'll tell you one thing. Nothing gets these governments, well, I won't say absolutely nothing, but one of the best ways to get your local government to behave is to threaten their federal funding. When you have something that could potentially strip away their federal funding, it tends to make them clean up their act really quickly. Yeah. All right. So 6.1, civil penalties. Civil fines shall be the primary method of enforcement for actions that result in withholding a child during court-ordered time. This approach aims to address noncompliance effectively while prioritizing the welfare of the child. So let's say, for example, you're a dad and your child's baby mama, even though you have a parenting plan in place, she keeps choosing to disobey that parenting plan. You show up to meet for the exchange. She's not there with your kid, with your guys' kid, and you're pretty much stuck. You have to go through court, again, the way the system's set up, to try to enforce the parenting plan. This would eliminate that. She can now be penalized financially for withholding the child. Beautiful. 6.2, financial hardship and compliance. In cases of financial hardship, individuals shall not face imprisonment unless all civil enforcement measures have been exhausted, such as the withholding of tax returns and other forms of public reimbursement to ensure compliance with financial obligations. Individuals should be allowed to make up outstanding payments with interest rather than facing criminal penalties. This, again, is huge because here in the state of Washington, you know that if you fall behind on child support, they can take your license away, they can throw you in jail. And yeah, granted, there is some deadbeat dads out there that purposely go out of their way not to pay child support. But a lot of dads that fall behind on child support, it's not because we don't want to pay. A lot of times it's because we've lost the job or we're struggling to find a job. And tell me this, answer this question, family courts. How does it help a father to get back on track? How is it going to help me, for example, find a job if you're to come through and take my license away? How does that help the situation at all? And then you threaten me with jail time? I'm just using myself in as example. I'm not going through any of this, but I'm saying I'm using what could possibly happen to me to try to lay out what I'm talking about right now, okay? So this would get rid of that. So no more just stripping your license away because all of a sudden you fall behind on child support. No more throwing you in jail. And that is huge because, again, most of us are not deadbeat dads. And most of us that end up falling behind on child support, it's not because we're not trying to pay. It's usually because we've lost the job or we're struggling to find a job. Sometimes things happen in life that are out of our control. So that's huge. Now, let's move on to Section 7, implementation. Check this out. The crown jewel of the Parental Bill of Rights. The Department of Justice shall oversee the implementation of this amendment and guide state courts and agencies to ensure uniform application and protections of parental rights. Parental rights regarding custody are recognized as a fundamental civil right protected by the United States Constitution. The implementation process shall respect and uphold these rights, ensuring that all measures align with constitutional principles and provide equal protection under the law. So that right there, you guys, that is the Parental Bill of Rights. It is the new proposed 28th Amendment that this particular organization is trying to get pushed through. Now, if you want to read the bill yourself, you can go to amendment28campaign.org. That's amendment28campaign.org. I will also leave a link in the description. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to break down the stats here in Washington State so I can show you clearly how corrupt this state is when it comes to fathers' parental rights. It's an absolute disgrace. Honestly, this nation should be ashamed of itself. This state should be ashamed of itself on how it's allowing itself to operate. So check this out, all right? So out of all 50 states, Washington State is ranked 43rd in the nation for fathers' parental rights. Out of a 365-day year, we are getting to see our children 23.8% of that time, which equals a total of 86.87 days per year. That should honestly piss every last one of you off. Not only should fathers be mad about that, but mothers should also be angry about that because most of the moms out there, they don't behave this way, even if they go through a divorce. So, moms, get on board with us. Show us some support, all right? And now here is some other interesting information when it comes to the 28th Amendment that is being proposed. I really wanted to bring this up because it basically shows that one party is completely on board for supporting this type of change, while the other party doesn't basically even support it at all. All right. And I'm talking about the Democrats and Republicans. Now, the information I'm about to read to you, unfortunately, you're going to see clearly that the Democrats do not support an equal 50-50 custody amendment. They don't want to see it. Why? Because you got to think about this. When it comes to the hardcore feminist organizations, the Me Too movement, and, the toxic masculinity garbage, who's pushing all that? It's the left. It's the Democrats. It's the radical feminists. So why would they want to change things? So check this out. All right, I'm going to go back through the years. All right. The 110th Congress in 2007 and 2008, the Parental Rights Amendment was proposed by Rep. Pete Hoekstra. I hope I'm saying that right. Who is a Republican from Michigan, as HJ Resolution 97 on June 26, 2008. But it had no additional sponsors. On July 28, 2008, it was referred to the Subcommittee on the Constitution, Civil Rights, and Civil Liberties. Unfortunately, it went nowhere. The 111th Congress, 2009-2010, again, they tried to push through a Parental Bill of Rights amendment. This was proposed by Rep. Pete Hoekstra, once again, a Republican from Michigan, on March 31st, 2009, and numbered HJ Resolution 42. And on April 27th, 2009, it was referred to the Subcommittee on the Constitution, Civil Rights, and Civil Liberties. It garnered 141 sponsors, but unfortunately, again, it went nowhere. In the Senate, an identical bill, which was numbered SJ Resolution 13, was introduced by Senator David Vitter, who is also a Republican from Louisiana. And on March 3rd, 2009, it had no additional sponsors. It was referred to the Committee on the Judiciary. And on May 14th, 2009, Senator Jim DeMint, another Republican from South Carolina, proposed the Parental Rights Amendment with an additional section clarifying that this article shall take effect after the date of ratification. It was numbered SJ Resolution 16. It was referred to the Committee on the Judiciary. It received only 6 co-sponsors. All right? 6. That's it. Now, at the 112th Congress, in 2011 and 2012, again, the Parental Rights Amendment was proposed multiple times in the 112th Congress. On January 5th, 2011, Rep. John Flemings, a Republican from Louisiana, proposed the Parental Rights Amendment without the additional section added in SJ Resolution 16. It was numbered HJ Resolution 3. It was referred to the Subcommittee on the Constitution on January 24, 2011. It received 17 co-sponsors, so it's gaining a little momentum. On March 29th, 2012, Rep. Trent Franks, a Republican from Arizona, you notice how it's all Republicans, no Democrats, chairman of the Subcommittee on the Constitution, proposed the Parental Rights Amendment with a slightly modified first section. It was numbered HJ Resolution 107. It was also referred to the Subcommittee on the Constitution on April 9th, 2012. It received 21 co-sponsors, so a little more momentum, gaining a little more momentum. Now, on June 5th, 2012, Representative Trent Franks, again, a Republican from Arizona, again proposed the Parental Rights Amendment with a slightly modified first section, an additional section clarifying that this article shall not be construed to apply to a parental action or decision that would end life. It was numbered HJ Resolution 110 on June 18th. It was referred to the Subcommittee on the Constitution, and on July 18th, subcommittee hearings were held. It received 85 co-sponsors, so it really gained quite a significant number on that day. In the Senate, Senator Jim DeMint, again, a Republican from South Carolina, proposed a resolution identical to HJ Resolution 110, and on June 5th, 2012, it was numbered SJ Resolution 42. It was referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. It received 12 co-sponsors, way down. Now, at the 113th Congress, back in 2013-2014, the Parental Rights Amendment was proposed with the first section expanded into two sections by Rep. Mark Meadows, another Republican from North Carolina. On June 18th, 2013, it was numbered HJ Resolution 50. It was referred to the Subcommittee on the Constitution and Civil Justice. It received 80 co-sponsors, so it went back up. In the Senate, the Parental Rights Amendment was proposed by Senator Lindsey Graham, another Republican from South Carolina. Y'all probably know who Lindsey Graham is. On June 4th, 2014, with identical wording as in the House. It was numbered SJ Resolution 37, and it was referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. It received 5 co-sponsors, so way back down. Now, at the 114th Congress, 2015-2016, the Parental Rights Amendment was once again proposed by Rep. Trent Franks, again a Republican from Arizona, with modified wording. It was numbered HJ Resolution 91. It was referred to the Subcommittee on the Constitution and Civil Rights, Civil Justice on May 17th, 2016. It currently has 10 co-sponsors. So it was not currently. This is back in 2015, 2016. In the Senate, Senator Lindsey Graham, a Republican from South Carolina, proposed the Parental Rights Amendment with its current wording on June 29, 2016. It was numbered SJ Resolution 36. It was referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. It had 5 co-sponsors on July 25th, 2016. Now, at the 115th Congress, 2017-2018, the Parental Rights Amendment was again sponsored by Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, with its current wording on August 1st, 2017. It was numbered SJ Resolution 48. It was referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. It had 5 co-sponsors on August 1st, 2017. In the House, Representative Randy Holcomb, again a Republican from Illinois, proposed the Parental Rights Amendment with its current wording on November 16, 2017. It was numbered HJ Resolution 121. It was referred to the Subcommittee on the Constitution and Civil Justice. It had 20 co-sponsors on July 19, 2018. Now, at the 116th Congress, 2019-2020, the Parental Rights Amendment was again proposed by Rep. Jim Banks, a Republican from Indiana, with its current wording on January 1st, 2019. It was numbered HJ Resolution 36. It was referred to the Subcommittee on the Constitution, Civil Rights, and Civil Liberties on January 30th, 2019. It had 19 co-sponsors on December 3rd, 2019. Now, at the 118th Congress in 2023-2024, so this was not that long ago, the amendment was reintroduced in the House as HJ Resolution 38. It was proposed by Rep. Debbie Lesko, a Republican from Arizona, and co-sponsored by 7 other Republicans. That's not enough Republicans. Where are the rest of you Republicans? Aren't you all supposed to be the party about family, about nuclear family, about protecting children? And y'all could only get 7 other Republicans to get on board? That's an absolute disgrace. Where are the rest of you Republicans? Now, state legislatures 2010 to present. In 2010, the legislatures of Louisiana and South Dakota adopted resolution calling on the U.S. Congress to propose the Parental Rights Amendment to the states for ratification. In 2011, the legislatures in Idaho, Montana, and Florida passed similar resolutions. In 2012, Wyoming passed a similar resolution. In 2019, Oklahoma became the seventh state to pass a resolution calling on Congress to pass the Parental Rights Amendment to the states for ratification. So we're slowly gaining momentum. But like I said at the beginning, when I started diving into this information with the Congress, you notice how it's only Republicans trying to push this through. And it's not even enough Republicans, but there's no Democrats showing support. Where are the Democrats? Y'all claim to be about the people. Y'all say you want equal justice under law. You want equal opportunity for everybody. Yet, y'all are nowhere to be found when it comes to fathers, mothers, family, parental rights. Unfortunately, y'all are full of hogposh, garbage. I got to make sure I don't say bad words because I want families to be able to listen to this episode. All my episodes. So yeah, this is what's been going on in our Congress all the way back since, 2006, 2007? Let me scroll up. Yeah, since 2007 and 2008. So this has been a long, drawn-out battle. This has been going on for almost 20 years, and we still haven't got it done. This is unacceptable. Now, with that said, I have to I have to say this. This is for the dads out there. Dads, the only way we are going to get the change we want is if we start collaborating together on a massive level. We have to be active. We have to be engaged. We have to work together as a unified coalition. We have to push against these corrupt institutions. I'm fed up. I am more frustrated with dads than I am with moms and the courts when it comes to fathers' parental rights and how screwed we get in the family courts. Because the only reason that this has continued to go on is because fathers have allowed it. And whenever a father does have some success in the court, they just disappear. They go off. They don't stick around for the long-term fight. And my issue with that is essentially you're telling your sons, if you have sons, that, yeah, cool, I got 50-50 custody somehow, or maybe I managed to get full custody, but I really don't care about fixing the system. So when you grow up, son, guess what? If something happens to you and your kids in the family courts, you're going to have to go through the same thing. But it's not a big deal. This attitude, this lethargic, this laziness, it needs to end. We need to man up. We need to come together as a cohesive unit. We need to be a unified coalition and start pushing back, because nothing gets the government to change quicker than when you have massive amounts of pressure coming from we the people. That is honestly the only time these people will listen to us. But they don't have to listen to us at this point. Why? Because the vast majority of us are just sitting on the sidelines doing nothing. And it is unacceptable. Like I said a minute ago, you're essentially telling your little boys that you don't care if you pass the same corrupt system on to them. And that is not okay. Because not only will many of your own little boys grow into manhood, having their kids taken away from them, you also won't end up getting to see your future grandkids. So you really need to start thinking long term. And if you're taking offense to what I'm saying, you need to take your feelings out of this. You need to start thinking logically. You need to be able to take a step back and assess the whole entire situation. You got to think long term. You got to learn to plan out. We as men can no longer afford to curl up in a ball and go cry in the corner and hope and pray that the family courts will start giving us the respect that we deserve. We also need to educate ourselves on the law, at least have a basic understanding of your constitutional rights. Remember, nothing in this life comes easy. Nothing that is good comes easy. Anything that is good always comes with a fight, especially when it's something that is good. So dads, what I want you to do is I want you to start reaching out to me. And I want you to share this video. I want you to give it a thumbs up. I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to leave a comment in the section below. Also, mothers, women who find this type of discrimination against dads to be unacceptable, I also want you to reach out to me. I want you to like this video. I want you to leave a comment. I need you to follow this channel. I need you to share this video because we need you on our side. This is a fight not just for fathers' parental rights, but it's a fight for our families. I'm sure most of you are well aware of how many children are now being raised without fathers in the homes. Do you know right now, just in case you don't know this, do you know that 1 in 3 children in America are being raised without a dad in the home? This is unacceptable. And most of those kids that do not have fathers in the homes, it's not because the dads don't want to be there. It's because these corrupt family courts are pushing them out of the home. They're not allowing the dad to see his child, his children. They're constantly allowing perjury. They're constantly allowing hearsay. And these judges are allowed to rule whatever way they want because, again, we have no basic knowledge of how the laws operate. This is why we must come together. This is why we must solidify our unity and start working together as one cohesive unit. Nothing brings change faster when it comes to the government than massive amounts of public pressure. So again, I want you all to reach out to me. I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to hit that thumbs up. I want you to hit the notification bell, and I want you to leave a comment below. Leave me your contact information. And you don't have to leave your information in the comment section. If you go down below, all my contact information is down below. Also, me and my business partner, we are working on building our own foundation. It's called the Father's Gospel Foundation. It is going to be a 501c4, but we need your guys' help. So if you, again, go down, there is a link to our Father's Gospel merch store. I want you to go on there, buy one of our t-shirts, our coffee mugs, our hoodies, buy something, because what we're going to do with the money that we're bringing in, we're going to use this to register our 501c4. We're going to use the funds that we bring in to begin the process of hiring a team of high-powered attorneys, high-powered lawyers, whatever you want to call them. We're going to use those funds for marketing, for campaigns, all sorts of stuff, because again, we cannot afford to allow this type of behavior to continue on. One of the main reasons our country is in the mess that it's in is because for the last 5-6 decades, basically since the 1960s, The number of fatherless homes has absolutely skyrocketed. It's gone up more and more every single decade. And when you have a bunch of broken homes, all these dysfunctional families running around, it makes it that much easier for the government, the corporate media to brainwash we, the people, to control us in whatever way they see fit. And last but not least, I said this earlier in the video, one of the things we need to do, why it's so important for us to start organizing on a massive level, we have to stand up against these far left radical feminist organizations, these groups that push the Me Too movement, these hardcore feminist groups that hate men, that believe they have no value to their families, these groups that push the words toxic masculinity. We've got to push back, you guys. We have to be willing to fight as hard as the radical left does. And that is the truth, because they have billions of dollars backing them. They have corporations backing them. They have charities backing them. We have to do the same thing. And we can start getting a lot of these corporations, different charities, we can start gaining the same support. But we have to be willing to put in the work to do it. So that's my message to y'all, okay? So once again, make sure you contact me. You go on the Father's Gospel merch website, get yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie, a mug, order one of these shirts. Check this out. It's really dope. I designed this myself. It's called the Dad Squad shirt. And it's got our 4 pillars on the back. These are the principles of our foundation. I want you to read it. You read those principles, you read those 4 pillars, those are good pillars. Yes, we are focused on protecting fathers' parental rights, but if you read the pillars, you can clearly see that it says we love, protect, and cherish motherhood as well as fatherhood. We are about protecting the traditional nuclear family. This is a call to action. And when you're out there rocking this type of shirt, trust, you're going to get compliments. It'll be a conversation starter. So, again, go on the merch store, order yourself a Dad Squad shirt. Whether you're a dad or a mom, get yourself a shirt. Get a shirt for your kids. Get yourself a coffee mug, a hoodie, whatever. We need your support, guys. It is time to change these corrupt laws, and it is time to hold the family courts responsible for their criminality. I'm Codell. Thank you so much for watching. And again, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. You can follow us on X. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Rumble. You can also follow us on Truth Social. Those are the main website. Those are the main social media pages that we are operating on at the moment. So I look forward to hearing back from many of you. I want y'all to reach out to me. Let's organize together and let's end this generational curse once and for all. Now, before I get out of here, I'm going to do a quick prayer, you guys, okay? And if you want to, please pray along with me, all right? Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for providing me with this platform, for providing me with the inspiration that I need to begin this process on restoring parental rights, especially for our fathers and our children. God, I ask that you bless me with your guidance, your wisdom, your knowledge, your discernment, And please protect not just me, but all of us with your armor. God, none of this is possible without you. All glory goes to you, and we are grateful that you are our creator. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yahweh, Amen. We love you, God. God bless you, God. And God bless all of you. My name's Codell, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Until then, be safe and remember, God loves you. I'm out. Peace.